Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another video. We have the raid digest, meaning Plarium has come back, and they usually do this every Friday or so, and with some news. Every second Friday they do this sometimes, and they come in with some news, and apparently a huge bug fix that affects maybe the 0.01% of players out there, but it's still it's a nerf, I would say, for those players who enjoyed using this sort of mechanic in terms of, you know, getting things done, beating this dungeon. The one you're seeing right now at the back, the event dungeon stage 30. Apparently there's a team out there that can beat this in 2 seconds, and this has caused Plarium to be in an uproar. All right, we do not want this to happen. So Ash showcased it, I believe it was 16 hours ago in a video. This is not Ash's account, but it's somebody else's, and basically this guy farms the event dungeon in 2 to 3 seconds flat. Okay, utilizes basically 2 ferals with the power of Seekfront to do the excess damage. When he kills the target with the 1.3 million, he does the remaining one with a 10.9 million damage. This is very, very unlikely to be set up in any other situation than basically this. Does this break the game more so than what, I don't know, 3 newts would do for this dungeon? I mean, 2 seconds to 9 seconds, it is a difference. It's 3 times the time, but it's still, you know, a joke when you can beat a boss that they've designed. All right, it's just a champion made as a boss basically. But is this like a joke of a dungeon this way? I believe not, especially if you have this kind of, you know, this kind of an account to build a +4 Seekfront with a very good Shujan to buff him up. And then you also have your Baron hitting. You need to have your 2 ferals there to give the extra damage through the bonuses. So it's all based on the setup. But apparently Plarium decided, no, this is a bug and we're gonna fix it, because, well, we didn't think people would utilize it. Well, they have, and I think this is like a big miss on their part. If you have the champions, if you're enjoying the game so much, you know, you build these kind of teams, you shouldn't be, you know, punished for this one. The same thing goes for the Trunda teams, which have still not been affected for the Hydra, and the Yannicka teams, which apparently that has been a bug for months now, and that has stopped me for building a Yannicka team for Hydra, because I thought they would fix it much sooner, but they don't really care apparently. Anyway, this is one of the bug fixes that they're changing, guys. If there is more than 1 feral in the team, their passives stuck, unlike similar passives of other champions, whereas they should not and will not starting from the next major update. So that is one of the bug fixes, guys. I don't like this when they do these kind of changes, but I mean, I guess to make it along other champions who have passives that only affect, you know, champions and cannot be stacked, I guess that kind of makes sense. But shouldn't this be obvious when you're designing a champion? I don't know. Anyway, guys, let's go over the remaining news. So the siege will be getting some changes. So there are major issues with the siege. Already we have seen it. Basically upgrading your stronghold shows some problems, and they want to do some balancing and rebalancing. They know already that they kind of messed up with the point system. Already some clans are doing intentionally dropping their points in order to not get a bad matchup next, by doing some sort of specific strategies. I'm not gonna say what they're doing, but that's what they're doing, and it does change the way that balance works in the siege. Honestly, they made it too complicated, especially with how the Florins work and how the orbs work, and then the attacks work, the defenses work, then the rebattles and all of that in terms of the point system. They made it too difficult for the leaders of each clan to think about different strategies. I don't think it should be so complicated, especially in a mobile game. Not because it's not possible for like the clan leaders to put these strategies for use, but it's really hard to get the whole clan to be you know, excited about this, especially for the lower clans, the mid-tier clans. I'm not talking the endgame clans. The endgame clans are all in for it, but the lower tier clans get upset when there's just too much work that they'll have to do on top of everything else, on top of whatever else they have to deal with, such as the Hydra clash every single week. So for instance, they're planning to add a tiebreaker solution if both clans have their bastions destroyed and end up with an equal number of victory medals. The game will take into account how many teams each clan defeated in each building, and if those numbers are the same, how many turns it took. However, this is just a concept and actual details might change. Exactly. I mean, come on. How did this pass their testing phase? I'm going to be brutally honest here. This shouldn't have been an issue from the start. How can you say you're going to have clans be tied and have them both lose? This is how it works right now. How can you push your big summer launch of such a content and have each clan basically face a tiebreaker where they both lose? I don't understand it. There shouldn't be a tiebreaker. There should be different tiers of fights, how many losses, how many defenses, and if, let's say, all offenses took one battle to beat each other, yes, there should be something else that changes who is decided as you know, the person who wins. How many turns it took, I don't know if that's going to count, but maybe the overall power of each clan after that should maybe affect that as well. There are also some technical bugs that they're planning to address, such as receiving additional attack scrolls and defensive slots in destroyed buildings getting automatically filled with reserve teams. I'm pretty sure there's many bugs here, but hopefully they'll be addressed in the future, and hopefully along this they'll address something with the quality of life features that we're still missing with the game in terms of time and how much time we spend in the game, guys. That is my biggest issue at the moment. So after the feral fix, they're also gonna fix a Forge Pass quest, placing X debuffs on campaign and dungeon bosses. Currently doesn't work with Odin, Father's event dungeon. This fix is planned for the next major update. All right, this is like a small bug. Matchmaking error in live arena. There's an error in the opponent search algorithm that shows up after several defeats in a row and prevents finding an opponent. That is actually huge. And then we're also gonna have a personal rewards CVC tournament coming up next. And by the way, the event dungeon will be included among its objectives. Very nice. Okay, happy to hear that they're adding this. Hopefully it's not gonna be bugged out. But yeah, I'm currently like farming the event dungeon, not on my main account, but I'm farming it on this account. The reason for this is it's a good way to get silver, basically. At this point, it's a good way to get silver along the pinpoint accessories and the pinpoint gear. The majority of players I've seen already asking whether they should be farming this. I would say if you can farm it a little bit, so you get maybe a couple of items from the pinpoint set, especially like one ring will give you 20 accuracy. That is quite huge. And if you can get one ring and then let's say another 2 items for any champion you want to build out, then that is 40 accuracy and 10% speed. If you compare it to the perception, you get 40 accuracy and 5% speed. But perception, you got to craft it. You have to actually get good rolls. Here, you farm it using energy. There's many sources now, many areas where we can spend our energy. So it's very, very much so on your decision on where you should be spending your energy as a player. You get 850 energy or so per day through all sources. And then you have to decide, should I spend it on gear? Should I spend it on ascensions? Should I spend it on the Iron Twins? Should I spend it now on the brand new event dungeon that is limited? I would say it depends on your progression as a player. If you're somebody looking into getting to late game, okay, not end game, late game, Iron Twins is basically a must to get more blessings for your champions. At least the 6 battles per day. I'm not talking about the refresh only on Sundays. You need maybe ascensions on your base team. And I'm talking about the bottom tier ascensions, gloves, chest, boots. Those are kind of key upgrades that eventually will lead you to much higher speeds, much higher damage through crit damage or attack percent, or even crit rate roll on the gloves, and then attack percent, or let's say defense percent on the chest pieces. But that's a lot of energy to get those specific bonuses. And then you're looking also at the accessories with crit damage on the amulet, let's say, and accuracy resistance on the not on the amulet, on the banner, right? So those are the ways that you get your upgrades. And then for end game players, basically you have all that already, and then you're looking for the brand new shiny thing, which is the pinpoint set, which is this one. Trying to see if the 9-piece bonus is really worth it. Personally, until you get like really good gear to compare to the gear that you have already as an end game player, it will take thousands upon thousands of energy of farming this dungeon. Which brings me back, funnily enough, to the point 1. Like those endgame players have the 2-second team are gonna be like, what the heck, Plarium? Let me farm it at 2 seconds. It's energy. It doesn't affect anything else in the game. I mean, it might affect damage, let's say in the Hydra, but not more so than what Trunda does. Anyway, rant ends. This was the raid digest, guys, for the weeks. Gonna keep on farming. I'll also be posting a video with some summons later on. Gonna do some mythical summons. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes with the shards. And yeah, guys, thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.